There's Still Tomorrow is out in theaters over here in Poland. New Italian film, directorial debut of Paola Cortellesi, who also plays the lead role. It's apparently come out in Italy already in 2023, and it was a massive hit in theaters, beating out Barbie and Oppenheimer at the box office. The film is a black and white, darkly comedic drama that takes place in post-war Italy of the 1940s. Delia is a middle-aged woman who leads a unhappy and utterly miserable existence, with perhaps the worst husband ever portrayed on screen. He routinely berates her, beats her, puts her down. She's trying to take care of the house, bring home some money from things like sewing and administering injections to sick people. She's trying to raise her kids. She also has to take care of her elderly father-in-law, who somehow appears an even bigger bastard than the husband. Trapped in this existence, she attempts to help her teenage daughter as she's being courted by a seemingly nice boy from a good family, so that she can perhaps get married, escape this family, and lead a better life than Delia. So I think it's a bit of a flawed film, because there are some interesting things in it, but there are also elements that diminished my enjoyment of it. I think the central performance is fantastic, there's no doubt about that. I think the topic of women's plight in poor post-war Italy is an interesting one, certainly not a story I've really seen explored thus far. And it's also a well-written transition between in the plot line between how Delia initially views her daughter's young romance and how eventually she comes to realize it reminds her of her own experiences in the past and where that can potentially lead to. Plus there are some comedic scenes which are genuinely very funny. However, I think that in general, the themes of the film are very unsubtle, especially in the deliberately unrealistic musical scenes. There's only a handful of them. The one where Delia eats chocolate with the mechanic, the one where her husband dances with her, they're just too obvious, I thought, too on the nose for me. And I also wasn't a fan of editing, again, mostly in the scenes involving music. It's unrestrained and just a bit too much. Like, again, the gag with chocolate, it's just, I get it, and the camera just stays on it for like 3 times as long as it needs to. And also, some of the music choices were so odd that they immediately just took me out of the movie, like the modern day rap music. And finally, I wasn't a fan of the ending, because I get how it tried to expand this personal story onto a larger historical canvas with the elections angle and spotlight a certainly important moment in Italian history. But I just feel that in context, it's presented as this huge life-changing win for Delia, whereas I don't think that that moment would necessarily change anything in her immediate life. So to sum all of this up, I like parts of it. I can see why someone could like the entire film if they connect with it more personally. For me though, it's just a bit too flawed. Interesting, but imperfect.